Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 398. 398. Isn't that amazing? We are almost at episode 400, and it's a little mind-boggling to me that I have sat with my phone or my computer video on recently and shared my life, shared my stories, shared my lessons, my learnings in this space, in this forum. It's pretty cool. So we are 2 episodes away from 400. I feel like that's going to be a little mile marker for me. And then we'll move on and we'll get to episode 444, which will be super awesome. And then who knows, 555, we'll just keep going and see where this adventure takes us. It is Thursday here in Cincinnati. It's a little gray and rainy, but much needed. It's been getting kind of dry in August, so it's good to have some rain falling. Humid though. I don't know if you've been in the Midwest. The humidity here is something. So my windows are all fogging up because it's so hot outside and cool inside. Okay, I skipped last week. I played hooky. I decided that I was going to take the afternoon off. So I did announce it in Instagram. If you watch these videos or listen to the audios and wondered, like, why wasn't there one last week? Maybe you didn't, maybe you did. But if you did and you didn't know, then a good place to check on any of my news and updates would be over at my Instagram account. And the link to that is in the description. And so I just shared a picture of my pool and a lot of blue sky and sunshine. It was absolutely gorgeous last week. And I decided to take the day off and go play in the pool instead. Well, not the day, the afternoon off, and go play in the pool instead of working. It was well received by my body, my soul. So yeah, so now here I am. We had, gosh, it's been a lot astrologically. We had a full moon in Aquarius last month. We had a new moon in Leo right before last week when I took the day off. I had recorded my new moon in Leo card reading. So perhaps you've watched that. If not, I suggest you go and check it out. There's a lot of clarity, and like the cards just show images to me, and to you. And they reveal for us guidance and wisdom about what's happening. What are our possibilities, the highest possibilities for our next lunar cycle? And how do we align with that? How do we step into that? And it's different for each person. And so when you see the cards, when you hear my interpretation, it's going to activate something in you, just like, these videos and audios do. You hear my story and it brings up a story that you want to also tap into for yourself, and hopefully sparks conversation with the people around you, or sparks some internal dialogue about something in you that's ready to shift or become aware in your consciousness. And so the video last week with the new moon in Leo reading was very much like, what's going to happen? let's feel the possibilities of it. And then can we follow our own guidance, trust our intuition, and start moving in that direction of the highest potential? So check that out if you haven't yet. But I did that video and decided, I don't know, did I have anything more really to add? Not that much. And so I took the day off. So here I am this week as we are moving towards our second full moon in Aquarius. And I forgot I was going to print out, I'll put the link in the description. I was going to print out an article by Astro Butterfly that just beautifully described the arc of last full moon to this full moon and what it activated then and what we could be completing or reaching full circle in our awareness about at this full moon on Sunday. So I'll put the link to that. Maybe read that and see what it sparks for you. I am, if you've been watching or listening to me over the last couple of years. I'm a double Aquarius. So Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon, and 2 full moons in Aquarius is like celebration party for me. Really, really good energy. It just feels good. And this full moon is doing something with Jupiter. Jupiter is all about like the planet of luck and expansion and success and like good stuff. So there is just some beautiful, beautiful alignment that I feel possible for myself and for all of us as we move into this weekend. All of that said, there's a lot going on in my home life right now. I have a son who graduated. If you've been listening to me, you probably already know this, but I have a son who graduated high school in May and is getting ready to move away to college. And tomorrow is his move-in day. So our house is just stacks of things that need to be organized and sorted and packed. If any of you are around my age and you've taken your children off to school, it's like chaos. And then they leave and then it's like quiet, so quiet. And there's just this huge contrast between the two experiences. So right now we're in that messy, things need to be double checked and triple checked and lists. Like you got to go buy the thing that you probably should have bought for them a year ago, but it wasn't necessary then. Now it's necessary. So we have just been running errands and it's just been fun. It's so fun. So tomorrow we take him to school. What was that? There's definitely some emotion that I can feel when that little tickle in my throat just popped itself up. Yeah. So I guess where I'm sitting at right now is this dance that we all have in being a human and having these human roles and responsibilities and this human drama that is constantly playing out, that is our life. And then this spiritual, energetic consciousness soul that knows it's all just a story or a game or a whatever that we're experiencing. And so it's all going to just pass. And then we'll go on with whatever the next thing is that the soul is calling in. And so we have those moments where the duality, the play between the human and the spiritual is like so pronounced or so defined. And it's what am I trying to say? It's like right now I'm in the humanness. I am in being a mom, getting ready to take my kid away and making sure that like I got it all figured out. And what I can feel is on the other side of Friday, on the side of Saturday and Sunday, there's this pivot that I'm going to be making. Look at even my chair, this pivot that I'm going to be making of like, whoop, now we're really focusing on spiritual and energetic, like as the lead, not right now where it's this is going to be fun. I'm going to keep doing this with my chair. If you're listening on audio, my chair swivels, my chair pivots. And so I keep turning it like this side. You can see my chair. I'm the mom. I'm the real. I'm here. I'm doing these human things. And then pivot. It's more energetic and consciousness that is going to be guiding my path. And I know we're always moving between both. All of us, I believe all of us are, constantly sort of defining and shifting between the two. But this word pivot feels really important to me. It keeps coming up in my meditation. So I printed out the definition of pivot. And I'm going to read it to you and then name that as perhaps as a guidance for myself and for all of us. If I'm feeling it, then somewhere in your life, you must be feeling it too, or you wouldn't have been called to watch this video. And so how does pivot play out for you? How are you pivoting in whatever your experience is? It could be about your family, it could be about your work, it could be, a belief system or a structure, or, it could be athletics. You could literally be pivoting in like dance or gymnastics. You could be pivoting in what you're saying and speaking. It plays out in all different ways. Here's the definition of pivot. So, as a noun, it says the central point, pin, or shaft on which a mechanism turns or oscillates. a person or thing that plays a central part in an activity or organization, the person or people about whom a body of troops wheels. And I feel that in the sense of like a family, you know, when depending on who's the the central person in your family, it could be the husband or the wife, or it could be the partner, whoever is that central pin in the wheel that everyone sort of revolves their energy around. Or that's not even true. Like my family doesn't revolve their energy around me. I hold a really grounded central energy in our home, and so they can come in and out very easily and have their own experiences because this is so steady here. And so the that's where I feel that the person or people about whom a body of troops wheels, there's one central energy that's strong and grounded and like clear. And then there's room for others to move in and out and have their own definitions and expressions. Another definition for pivot: a player in a central position in a team sport. A movement in which the player, for basketball, the player holding the ball may move in any direction with one foot while keeping the other in contact with the floor. So that's the definition that gets me the most. Like, I see it as, for myself, I'll name this and then whatever it brings up for you. I see myself as having like one foot, right now it's both, planted in my home right here, grounded, allowing all of this energy and activity to move around me and to shift in the way that our family flows. It feels to me like my son is doing this big expansion away. It's like he's stretching the family dynamic because he's moving to a new location. And so we're all still going to be connected and tracking him, but he's further away with more room, more space for himself to play and express in his own ways. We're all still here. At some point soon, I have a feeling my daughter is going to move away again. And so she's going to stretch and see what she's defining herself to be. My husband has started teaching school again, so he's away from the home much more. You know, we've had the summer of beautiful in and out, but together a lot. And now everyone's doing this. And so my feet are firmly planted, knowing everyone's starting to rubber band, expand. So I'm here. I'm right here, grounded. And this also applies to my work and the spaces that I've been holding over the summer, the group work I've been doing. Planted firmly here and watching people expand and stretch and become more than they were before the work. So there's that. The pivoting comes in. It feels to me like it's so challenging to get the words, but here's how it feels. It feels like I have been planted. I got both feet on the ground. I'm connecting. I'm listening to the earth. I'm listening to the energies around me here, grounded. And then there's this almost like a ballet move, although I've never done any sort of dance or ballet, like this is planting my feet and then lifting one foot up and doing this like twist and turn. And that one foot can hold this incredible movement or dance that's going to bring my energy into a new focus. And because that one foot is still planted, the activity around me is still continuing, and I'm still connected to everything that's happening in my family and my community for work. But now it's like, whoop, we're going to turn and we're going to do this. And then it feels like, you know, like when you see someone doing warrior pose or tree pose in yoga, and their whole body is balancing on that one foot, but their energy is so like targeted and strong and fierce. That's how it feels to me. I'm gonna lift my one foot up and then do this switch, this not even switch, this like flow of energy in a new way, and then decide which way do I want to focus? What is it that I'm going to do? Am I going to hold steady in tree pose? Am I going to stretch into some sort of warrior pose? Am I going to keep doing this dance move until I figure out where I want to plant my foot, or if I just really enjoy being on one foot? It's like all the possibilities are open. And I don't have to know. I don't have to know right now. I'm aware that I'm pivoting. that I'm standing on one foot and about to move into something else. And I don't know yet what that is. And I think for myself right now, there's no fear in that. In the past, I mean, I think of when my daughter went away to school, so excited for her, but also that fear of what's going to happen and what does it mean, and is she going to be okay? And my feet were grounded and planted, like yeah, and she did great. She did so great. And now here she is moving into her next evolution. And same for my son, except now I don't have to grip. Now I know this unknown a little bit more, and I can trust that just as he's expanding, as my daughter's expanding, as my teacher husband is expanding, I am too. And we're all, I've talked about this in podcasts before. It's like the team has been strengthening and bonding, becoming more cohesive, so that we can become more in the dance of our family. And this applies to community in any way that's been doing the same sort of work. We can stretch, and then suddenly the dance becomes different and wider, and there's more room for all who are in the dance to have their own unique way of moving and flowing energy. It's like the dance is still happening, but it's more, and there's more spaciousness in that. And when we have space and safe community and safe relationships, when we have space to be creative and to express the energy that's moving through us, something new and beautiful and profound can come through each one of us, because we have that safety net, that grounded connection underneath us to hold us really strong and steady. Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. It's so funny. I just looked at the clock on my computer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12:34. Yeah, that's what it feels like. We're climbing this ladder of time and play, and we're stepping up into something new. We're consecutively growing into something more. So going back to the human that I am right now, when I feel a lot of energy moving, I guess I'll tell you all this. This is funny. I mean, I just share my journey here, and you either get it or you're like that woman. she's something. I had all this emotion and energy moving on Monday, knowing like, here's my brain. My son's only going to be sleeping in this house for 4 more nights, and then he's going to be sleeping in some dorm room far away. I just got to make sure I'm like present. My mind is so funny. He's coming back home. He's going to be home all the time. My husband said he'll probably be here next summer. Like, he's going to be around. It's all okay. But in my mind, that's how I was preparing. And I could feel some of the fear and the scarcity and the contraction wanting to like pull me into, I got to grip, I got to hold. What's his schedule? What's happening? Which is an old mom version of me. I used to be that. Oh, I used to be that. It was bad. I was like, time was the thing that I would just beat myself up over and fight over with my ex-husband. Like, time, I wanted time, more time. And now I'm like, time, we have so much time. We have the rest of our lives. Time, why was I ever worried about it? And as that's happened, more time keeps being created, or I feel like there's so much more time now because I've loosened the grip on it. So Monday, I'm in my poor lack, nothing good is, there's not going to be enough good, and we're going to run out. And I was sitting in my little meditation room over in the corner of my office, and I was sketching and journaling. And then I just had this moment. I don't know if you ever have these. I had this moment where I looked up and I looked around my room, and I was like, wait, this room's energy is stagnant. No wonder I'm feeling kind of squished by it. This needs to change. Something needs to change, and it needs to happen now. Have you ever had that? Everything was fine, totally great. I mean, not great. It was good. And you look around, you're like, it all has to change. Everything has to change. It has to change now. So that's what happened. I took everything off the walls. I went up with my husband that night, picked out some paint colors, came home. Tuesday, I started painting. Painted all day Tuesday, painted Wednesday, tidied it all up. And today, my office is gorgeous. It's like a soft lavender color. There's one accent wall with this deep, deep purple. The bathroom's been repainted. I mean, it's so pretty. And the energy has shifted. And the soul, this is what I shared with a friend of mine when we are in those moments of this has to happen now, and everything needs to stop so I can do this thing. Our mind wants to, for myself at least, my mind wants to go, that's not smart. You have things to do. There's checklist. You should be spending more time with your son. You should be trying to get all these things done. No, 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 no. The soul says, yes, yes, be inspired, make a change. And what happens, this is the beauty when we trust those impulsive feelings that just compel us to do something that seems sort of silly. What happened for me is because I had a task that was very defined and focused, because my body was busy painting, taping, moving furniture, doing, my soul was loving the shift in the energy. What happened is my mind could align with the body and the soul, and it settled. It settled. And what happened for me is I could feel the pivot that was going to occur. Yes, we're going to get my son settled, and he's going to have an incredible freshman year of college, and he's going to thrive. Yes. And we're doing that on Friday. And then Saturday, when I come back into the space, I can stand in tree pose or warrior pose. I can dance, I can move, I can feel the energy is ready for me to be more, for me to have a different expression. This shift is now feeling exciting and loving and filled with potential. I keep looking around because it's so pretty. It's filled with potential. Where on Monday I was filled with fear. I had this sense of loss or conflict or lack. And by doing the thing that my soul guided me to do, my energy, my consciousness could settle all of that fear and go, oh, it's all good. It's all good. And what's going to happen in this space when your son is busy doing what he is here on this planet to do and learning and targeting and focusing all of his attention and energy, when he's doing that, you're going to be able to do the same thing. And so this is my mind, my soul talking to me, you'll be ready to just hit the ground running. And like the basketball metaphor, the basketball player, both feet on the ground, has the ball, and then, like, I know anything about basketball, but it sure sounds good. I watched a couple of games. I don't know anything about basketball. I would imagine as the player is pivoting, they lift their one foot up, they've still got the ball in their hand, and they turn, and now they're going to put their foot down so they can start moving in the direction of the court, the net. The net. They're going to get a basket. As they turn, now they can plant their foot very deliberately and move in the direction they want to go. And that's what I feel for myself as I'm pivoting this weekend. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think Sunday because it's a full moon in Aquarius. Like, of course, I'm going to be guided into what my next step is. Plant my foot, and energy can move so powerfully in the direction I'm starting to refocus on. So that's possible for all of us. If I can have that experience, anybody can make that. It's a mind, body, soul shift. Maybe it's soul first, soul, body, and you drag the mind along, shift. It's this internal steadying of the human and allowing the spiritual to pivot us and guide us into which direction we're going to move next. This is it's a powerful full moon that is happening. And, there's so much going on in our world, awful, horrible things that we're watching, and lots of fear. And for me, when I can see that and witness it and honor it, and then pivot, open up the possibility that that fear can be transmuted into love, that there are ways for collaboration and common ground, that there is the possibility that we can come, like, expand the space to have a little more freedom of expression for each of us to come into a new dance. I absolutely believe that is possible. And so we do it, one person, one situation at a time. I see it that way. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. So my strategy for life right now is to stay centered, to stay grounded, to stay clear in my own knowing, in my own intuition, to transmute fear into love as many micro moments as I can, and to keep moving in the direction that my soul is guiding me to move. And sometimes that means it's a pivot, human pivot. We're going this way now. So we'll see where this is going to take us. I'm really excited. I have beautiful offerings already created, and I feel like now there's this, like, momentum that I'm going to be able to harness and put underneath what I've created, and allow it to be experienced by more people. Allow the containers, the communities, to become wider, so that there's more space, and then individuals can come in and express and have that safe community experience. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. And then, I'll be doing the human thing where I'm driving up and back to see my son and make sure he's eating enough and making friends and doing his homework. That mama thing, it's hard for us to let that completely go, even when they're all grown up. All right. Full moon in Aquarius. Look at the article if you have time, and see what it brings up for you. It is so beautifully said by Esther Butterfly. And yeah, I'll see you next week after I am done pivoting. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in Viv's Energy Gym, where we are building a community of leaders in this new earth, exploring infinite embodiment, the soul aligning harmoniously with the human body and mind. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.